Bonjour and hello, Wranglers. Welcome back to the Hatchery. My name is Guigun, and I'll be your guide as we go over the different species of voidlings that you'll encounter in Voidling Bound. Our next voidling is, well, a troublemaker would be an understatement. With equal amounts of cuteness and chaos, you're gonna have your hands full with this one. Meet the Gwigoon. The Gwigoon is a bit of an enigma to Wranglers and, well, everyone else. These are rare creatures from V-Rio who have somehow figured out a way to clone themselves in a multitude of different ways. So just when you think you're observing the core Gwigoon, it goes poof and it's gone. Also, its diet is literally anything. Fruit, meat, nuts, wires, your left shoe, they're all a snack for this voidling. So keep that in mind when you decide to bind with this little guy. Seriously? The Gwigoon's main attack, Bouncing Blast Routine, is a short-range AoE burst that emits from itself. This creature doesn't really aim. It jumps towards the general vicinity of its target and then plays Pop Goes the Weasel. The main bread and butter of this voidling is its ability to clone itself with Goon Squad roll. The Gwigoon creates copies of itself to run around and cause destruction. You can't really control them, you can just direct them towards the chaos. The Gwigoon also has an ability called evasive acrobatics, where not only does it dodge, but it also goes invisible, setting its clones to fight and distract the target. Finally, the Gwigoon has access to a teleporter pod called Aerial Pull. It does AoE damage on impact and stops. If you activate it, your Gwigoon teleports to the pod, exploding and dealing damage to the surrounding area when it arrives. The Gwigoon's ultimate ability is Tumbling Frenzy. When activated, the Gwigoon makes numerous copies of itself and sends them everywhere, where they jump onto targets and explode. The Gwigoon is perfect at everything, and you'll never need another wait a second, who rewrote my script? And why is it in crayon? The Gwigoon is classified as a close-range summoner that is an ultimate AoE machine. Being able to constantly summon clones and stay alive is the key to success with this voidling. Now, if you choose to try and direct the chaos of this fuzzy creature, as a Wrangler, you will need to know that it has two specific routes of evolution: organic and plasma. Like previous specimens, this creature follows four specific final themes, two in each evolutionary tree. In the organic evolution, if you choose the sapien route, you will gain access to your main attack, additionally healing yourself and your little minions. The theme of this route is tribal magical fey monkeys who explode. If you like to make a planet of apes, you may like the Elder Gwigoon with its Together Strong mutation, where the Gwigoon gains one armor stack for each additional minion that is nearby. Or maybe you want a bunch of empowering plants to spawn. Then you'll want the Reaping Gwigoon with its Ripe Harvest mutation. If you destroy a marked enemy, it spawns a plant in its place, granting health and other resources as well. However, if you want to explore the Swarming route, you'll gain access to more poison and toxic Gwigoons, like the Gaseous Gwigoon, where every half second when you attack, it sounds out a cloud of poison in a random direction. Or maybe you want the Self-Destruct Gwigoon, where after you use an offensive ability, you wind up a powerful explosion that goes off when you jump. In the Plasma route, if you choose the Moonlight Gwigoon, the theme of this route is Space Vampire. I'm not even joking. For example, if instead of healing your own creatures, maybe you want them to heal you instead, you could just, eat them, and that ability is exactly what the cannibalistic evolution does. Or you could literally be a vampiric Gwigoon, where all of your attacks heal you, but you also take damage in the sunlight. If you decide to go with the necrotic Gwigoon, the theme of this route is necromancy? Are we sure we should even have these on the ship? One of the main final evolutions of this line is the Resurrecting Gwigoon with its Undead mutation. Simply, when you die, after a few seconds, you revive back to full health and knock back all enemies around you. It does have a 1-minute cooldown, however, so you can still fail a mission. Or, if you want, you can try out the Ossified Gwigoon. After killing an enemy, it has a 50% chance to spawn bone piles. Destroying them grants you armor and causes them to explode. dealing damage to surrounding enemies. There are 31 different forms of the Gwigoon, all more troublesome than the last, with 16 final evolutions. However, if you wanted for some reason to find more trouble, our scanners have detected a rare mutation of the Gwigoon that follows the cyber element. As much as I hate to say it, finding this rare mutation would be a significant help to fight the Legion. Let's just hope this one doesn't eat wires for breakfast. Like all Voidlings, you can upgrade your Gwigoon in your care with the Cerebrum Enhancer, improving its abilities to make the lives of your enemies even worse. For example, the more the merrier upgrade can be done twice, and it adds more clones to your cloning ability, which of course means, well, more mayhem. You also can get an upgrade that has the clones drop health when they perish. When you upgrade the Gwigoon's ultimate ability, it simply increases nearly every aspect of its chaos, from the amount of clone spawned, damage, and even explosion radius. If you have more patience than me and decide to take the Gwigoon out for a mission, your best bet is to try to stay out of trouble, but let your clones do the heavy lifting and let them get in trouble. Let them take damage while you prance around, exploding and dealing damage. When it gets too hot, go invisible and reposition. Be careful when spawning clones, as there is a limit to how many you can have out at once. If you make new clones while your initial ones are in the middle of a fight, they can despawn. However, through certain upgrades, despawning them can make them detonate, so make sure you're aware of your surroundings and be purposeful. Additionally, while aerial pull is good for combat, it's also good for many other missions where you might need to get to a ledge that's kinda quite far. Unfortunately, where this Voidling falls short is one, it doesn't have a basic ranged attack like many other Voidlings. Many of the upgrades, however, do give the Gwigoon some kind of projectile, but aiming is still not the name of the game when it comes to this Voidling. Also, since you can't control your clones directly, they can have a mind of their own, both in combat and while exploring, so keep that in mind when you choose this Voidling. The difficulty curve to pick up this Voidling is actually relatively straightforward. Letting your minions just beat the snot out of the Legion forces is quite fun to sit back and watch, but mastering it for the maximum damage can be quite tricky. If you can learn to control this Voidling's chaotic nature, or just at the very least redirect it towards the Legion, this Voidling can become quite formidable. And whatever you do, please don't feed them cookies again, and don't ask why. You don't want to clean up that mess. That's all for today's Voidling Spotlight. While the Gwigoon is the definition of trouble, our next Voidling is small, but is going to cause a big problem for the Legion and its forces. See you all next time.